Creating projects in ChatGPT or Claude is actually really easy, but if all you've done is given it a name, chosen a color, and put a few chats inside it, you're probably only using a very small part of what projects can actually do. Because the really useful bit isn't just keeping your chats organized, it's being able to tell the AI how you want it to work, so you're not having to explain the same things every time you start a new chat. In the previous video, I showed you the basic level of creating a project in ChatGPT or Claude. And at that level, a project is really just a folder that keeps related chats together. The next thing is knowing how to actually use it. Once you've created your project, you can open it and start a new chat directly inside it. That chat then sits inside the project rather than getting lost somewhere in your main list of chats. And you can have lots of different chats inside the same project. You can also move chats you've already started into a project. So if you've already got a useful conversation that's sitting in your main chat history, you haven't got to start all over again. You can open the menu for that chat, choose the option to move it to a project, and then select the project you want it to go into. So that's the simplest level. But the more advanced level is where projects become genuinely powerful, because you can give the project a set of instructions and behaviors that you want the AI to follow every time you use it. And those instructions sit at the project level. So whenever you start a new chat inside the project, you haven't got to explain the same rules again. Here's a simple way to think of this. The instructions tell ChatGPT or Claude how you want it to behave. Files give it the information it needs to work from, and then the individual chat is where you tell it what you're actually doing right now. Inside the project instructions, you can explain things like what the project is trying to achieve, the role you want the AI to play, the process you want it to follow, the format and structure you want back, what it should prioritize, what it should avoid, and any rules you want it to follow whenever you ask it to do something. But this is where I think it can get slightly confusing, because the instructions tell the AI how you want it to work, but that isn't necessarily the same thing as giving it the information it needs to do the work. And that's where the files come in. The files work slightly differently. I'd think of them as the project's reference library, or the background information that you want the AI to keep referring back to. Let's use a project that helps you prepare for a weekly meeting with your team. Inside the project instructions, you might say something like, keep everything concise and practical, use UK English, organize the output into updates, decisions needed, and next actions. Those are the rules for how you want the meeting prepared. The files would then give the AI the background information, who's on the team, what everyone's responsibilities are, what the current priorities are, what targets you're working towards, and what the normal meeting agenda looks like. Then each week you start a new chat inside the project, and that chat is where you'd add whatever is specific to that week. You might paste in your notes, upload the latest figures, add updates from different people, or explain which decisions need to be made. And there's another reason it's useful to separate the instructions from the files, because the way you want the AI to behave might stay fairly consistent, but the information it needs to work from probably won't. Your company priorities might change, someone's role might change, your tone of voice document might get better over time. So rather than rewriting your main project instructions after every time something changes, you can simply update the relevant file. And that's when the project stops simply being somewhere you store chats. It starts becoming a repeatable way of working. You set the behavior once, you give it the right background information, and every new chat inside that project starts from a much better place. I've put some example project instruction in the description for both ChatGPT and Claude, so you can copy one of those, put it into a project, and then adapt it to the way you work. Don't try to build something enormous straight away. Just choose one thing you already do regularly, set up a simple project around it, and then improve it as you use it.